So, welcome, Ben. Glad to have you on the podcast, bro. And my first question for you is, can you describe your journey of becoming a car guy?
Um, I said in messages really that
Yeah.
it's more. I'm more into Formula One sort of
Yeah.
stuff, so I follow
Motorsports.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I follow that a
Yeah.
lot more.
So, just can you describe how you became an F1 fan, how you got into motorsports and all that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my dad is very much my dad's very much into F1 and motorsports and that sort of stuff, and I sort of got it from him, and I watch it with him. And he used to go to races like Silverstone
Oh.
here, and the old one that was Brands Hatch. He used to go there and stuff. So yeah, it's mainly through my dad, really.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that. Now, can you tell a bit about, there like a particular car that made you a petrol head, or that particular F1 car that just inspired the motorsport enthusiast within you?
Um,
Some particular car, maybe from a particular
yeah.
year.
Um, the iconic one in terms of an F1 car, if you look back, there's an old McLaren livery. It's red and white.
Hmm.
It looks beautiful. That's like an iconic McLaren uh, car and livery. I think there's a film called Rush. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, I have
Um,
seen that. Niki Lauda and
yeah,
James Hunt, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So James Hunt is in the red and white McLaren, and it's just
yeah.
iconic. Probably that. And I mean, there's many F1 cars that you look at and you're like,
Hmm.
oh, that's beautiful. But that's one that sticks in my mind anyway. Definitely.
Rush is probably the best movie ever made for an F1 fan, according to me. Yeah, one
Yeah,
of the best.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a documentary called not Louder, Senna. If
Hmm.
you've watched that,
I have watched
that's
Senna's documentary as well.
yeah, it's a
It was
really good
amazing too.
documentary. Like
Yeah,
if any of your
yeah, yeah.
listeners haven't watched that, they should
That
watch
doc
it.
that documentary basically, told what the Ayrton's journey was from rags to the riches, like from
Yeah,
where he
yeah,
started and how he became the champion of the
yeah,
world.
definitely. And he was like an icon in Brazil by the end. So yeah.
The whole Brazil cried, I guess, when they heard that Ayrton Senna had died, because he was like a
Oh yeah.
hero figure to them, or to
Oh
all
yeah,
the,
yeah.
yeah, to
It's
all the
similar to
children and
yeah.
yeah,
It's similar to the I guess like Maradona in football who passed away recently. The way
yeah,
Argentina reacted to him, it's similar.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And Niki Lauda was one of the few peoples that got me into motorsport. At
Yeah,
first I was just into exotics and like Lamborghinis, Ferraris, but I was never a motorsports fan. Sebastian
right,
Vettel and Niki Lauda, these two folks were the ones that got me into F1. And two
right.
years ago, when Niki passed, I was like really sad, man, to see that legend
Yeah,
pass away.
yeah. No, he did it a lot. Well, he did a lot in the sport. Obviously, he won it three times and stuff. Came back, just came back and won it again. And then obviously the accident that's shown in the film, and he's it's like if you actually think about that now, he
Mm.
was those injuries, and he got back in the car like 2 weeks later or something
Yeah,
ridiculous. Like
I read
you have to have
about it.
a certain type of
Yeah,
passion.
yeah. Like he was just chasing James
Yeah,
Hunt on the corners, and suddenly what happened that his rear suspension link just broke down. So he crashed into the side
yeah,
barriers, and he was in flames for 55 seconds, and the flames were exceeding the temperatures of 800 degrees Celsius, and his
yeah.
helmet came off. Just imagine, man. And
No,
Lauda survived that,
yeah,
and he came back.
yeah. You can't quite compute in your head. Like
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
When I saw it in the movie and then I saw the real pic, like what Lauda had to go through, and I was like, dude, this is true dedication to the sport. He didn't came in like, oh, I'm going to make so much and lots of millions of dollars. He was like,
Yeah,
dude, I might as well die doing F1.
yeah.
Just that
Doing what
dedication.
he loves, doing what he loves,
Yeah.
basically.
He was
But
ready to
yeah,
die, man. And he came
yeah,
back in and dominated again.
yeah, yeah,
One of the best rivalries in F1.
yeah. Definitely, definitely up there.
Now, what is the car culture at the place where you live in? You know, like some
What
local car culture, like some
uh
tuners.
what about car local?
Like here in my country, like at my place, there are like tuners. People like to tune their cars a lot. Here, the tuning culture is too much. And in other parts of the city, there are like exotic rich, there are like
Right,
Lamborghinis,
right.
Ferraris all around. So like
Yeah,
every
yeah,
place has its own car culture. So what's yours?
yeah. I mean, here it's a lot more about functionality than like style or anything like that. Like obviously there are richer parts of where I live who you see your Ferraris, your Lamborghinis, your Aston Martins, that sort of stuff. But around where I live, it's more about it's just getting you from A to B.
Hmm.
So
For practical
like
people.
there's quite a few dealerships around here as well.
Hmm.
So there's like you like I said, so there's rich parts and obviously not as rich parts, but there's
Yeah.
dealerships for all of them. So there's like the cheaper ones like Mazda and stuff like that, and then you have a Lamborghini dealership, Maserati dealership. So I mean, you get to see all sorts, but usually around here
Hmm.
it's a bit more affordable cars, I would say.
Hmm.
But like I say, like because of um I forgot what it's called, but there's a place nearby where all the footballers live. So like all they have the ultra high end stuff. But yeah, yeah,
So
more
cars
more.
like Miata or GT86 might be in huge quantities there, I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
yeah, a lot more. A lot like I mean, me personally, I've got. I
Hmm.
don't know if you might not even heard of it. I've got a Kia Picanto. That I mean, that's sort of like it's very functional. Like it's
Hmm.
not nothing flashy. It's just
Hmm.
to get you A to B sorted. Like that's all you need. Like there's nothing too overboard. I know. I mean, one of my friends is really in like more into the like you say into the car side of the motorsports,
Hmm.
and he's like he works, so he's got a bit of excess money, and he's
Hmm.
gone from like owning a Seat Leon automatic all this to BMW. Like he's got like not like ultra high end, but like a pushing a bit more into the mid range sort of thing. Um, yeah, and I know his dad's got like I think it's a Mercedes, red Mercedes S class, something like that. I don't know, but it's they're a lot more they're a lot more into the cars. Like
Hmm.
they know what they're talking about on the car side. Not so much F1 and stuff like that, but that's more my expertise.
Hmm. Well, that's a nice car that you own. Cause see, according to me, if a car does the job it's meant to do, then it's a good car.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
If the car is meant to go from point A to point B, then it's a good car. If the car does that very well, simple as that.
Yeah, yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah,
does the job for me. Does the job for me.
yeah. Even in here in India, we like Kia cars are like getting really popular among just affordable buyers because they like to like get Kia cars because they are reliable and all, and they are like pretty safe as well. So
Oh,
people here are like
the
just
key.
Japanese car here basically rule the segments, all the segment
Yeah, yeah,
basically. Kia entered here India about
yeah,
2 years ago, and they have like dominating. They have been dominating the market like crazy. So I can see Kia's magic here as
yeah.
well.
Like, yeah. Kia Picanto is famously like ultra reliable, like ridiculously reliable here. Like, it's just like if you want a reliable car, that's who you go to. Yeah, like it's. I mean, I don't know how it is over there, but the actual car for me cost less than the insurance for me, and like that's how cheap it was. Like the insurance that because I'm obviously a younger person as well, it's more
Hmm.
expensive. But yeah, the car costs I think about like 300, £400. I'm not sure what that is in
Hmm.
over there.
Hmm.
And then the insurance was like I said, like a grand. So it like that's how functional the car is, how cheap it is. So yeah, but yeah,
Good to hear that. Now, so you would have recently saw Roman Grosjean's accident at the 2020 Bahrain GP. Recently, his
yeah,
helmet was revealed as well. You might have saw the pic.
yeah.
So, Just what do you think about that accident, man?
Oh, I mean, so with all the developments in sort of safety and stuff, you sort of thought nothing like that could happen again in F1.
Hmm.
But it shows that things like that can still happen. But it shows how, I guess, it sort of showcases how far the safety has come. That he was able to actually walk away from that accident, like
Only his
ridiculous. I
hands
think
were burnt.
yeah, I think it came out that he experienced 67 Gs
Hmm.
in that crash, which is
Yes.
like, but the fact that he was able to walk away from that accident, and like the halos on the
Yeah.
cars now
The
that
halo
protects the
protected
head,
him.
like it protected him, and there was a bit of like, ooh, like at the time, like, oh, it makes the
Hmm.
car look not as nice. It's like, well, it's just saved someone's life there.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if it doesn't
Hmm.
look as nice. It doesn't
Hmm.
even look that bad, to be honest. Like it
Yeah.
saves someone's life, so it's fair enough. Keep it.
Yeah.
Um,
It passed
but
like just 2 inches above his helmet, and if it
oh
was
yeah,
2 inches just below, it might have hit his head, and
yeah,
we might have probably seen another casualty. But thanks to
yeah,
the halo,
yeah,
same happened with Senna. That
yeah.
yeah, something similar to halo hit his helmet, and the doctor said that if it just was 1 inch lower or 1 inch higher,
It'd
Senna
be
might
like,
would have been saved. Senna might be within us today, but
yeah,
he was like just hit at the point, at the breaking point, and
yeah.
he was
It
like
was,
dead within a few seconds.
yeah. It was like it went exactly where it had to hit him to for him to pass away. It did. So
Mm.
it's just chance, isn't it? Like you
The
say, if it
the
sorry, carrying it.
yeah, the impact and the physics of that crash are just too humongous. 67 Gs on a single person who weighs barely 70-80 kgs.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like the same before, you can't quite compute it. Like
yeah,
it's
you can't
yeah,
just fathom how, like,
yeah,
what physics there is going on in there, like how much that driver is capable of withstanding.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah,
these guys just step in the car and walk
yeah.
in
But
and just race to just
yeah,
entertain us all.
yeah, and then it's their love of the sport. And
Mm.
like I said, it's thankfully he was able to walk away from that, and that's down to the developments and the safety. But it
Mhm.
shows that things like that can still happen. I mean, Antoine Hubert, a Formula Two driver, passed away a few seasons ago, so
Mm.
it still shows that deaths can happen,
Mm.
which is not it's
Yeah.
a shame, but at least they're still trying to uh, develop the safety to sort of make it as safe as possible, even
Mm.
though it's at the end of the day they're still racing around 200 miles an hour, so it's going to be dangerous whatever they do. So, but you know,
It's going to be dangerous because when you're going fast, like the faster you go, the safety factor goes down
yeah,
proportionally.
yeah,
They are both
yeah,
inversely proportional,
yeah, yeah.
and
So
that's why at such speed you require just safety. Safety is your
whatever,
number one priority.
yeah, whatever they do for the
Mm.
safety, they never can get away from the fact is that the race dangerous. They can do all they can, I guess. So yeah,
Yeah, there is
yeah,
still a very high chance that any driver that is stepping into the car might not return. There is still a very significant chance might not return to the podium.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the risk they
It's obviously
take.
they've reduced it in recent years, but
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
mm,
Safety has
yeah,
evolved quite a
yeah,
lot. Like if you just see Roman Grosjean's helmet, it withstood such fire and like it wasn't even half penetrated. So I was
mm,
like very impressed to see the strength of the helmet and the durability that okay man, our F1 drivers are pretty much safe if that kind of helmets are like used
mm,
are being used
yeah,
by them.
yeah, definitely, yeah, absolutely,
Thanks to the
yeah,
evolutions in safety.
yeah.
Hmm. Now, so Sebastian has like gotten into Aston Martin. So do you think
Mm.
that he might win this year? He might win.
I'd like to think he'll do better just so it's a bit more competitive, but
Mm.
I think Hamilton will still run away with it. I think you'll probably see, like you say, Aston Martin, McLaren, because they've now got Mercedes engines. with
Yeah.
Ricciardo and Norris,
Hmm.
and Red Bull will be there or thereabouts. And hopefully the changes that Ferrari have made to the car will make them a bit more competitive. It'd just be nice to see someone challenging Hamilton. I still think he'll win it, but it'll
Hmm.
just be nice to see it a little bit more competitive. But it'll probably just be the same. He'll run away with it, and everyone else will be
Hmm.
like competing against each other probably. But yeah,
Hmm.
hopefully. I can't see Vettel win it though. He might be higher up though.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
He might be when he was in the Ferrari, he might be higher up than that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But like hopefully he can get a few podiums and stuff like that. Maybe a couple of wins or something like that, the odd win, and obviously be in the top five. But
Hmm.
I think Mercedes are just too strong, aren't they? Really,
They
it's
are
a
just too
shame.
strong. They have got a great driver. They have got a great car. And when you
Yeah,
combine these two, you ultimately get a race-winning car and a race-winning driver.
yeah, yeah,
So I'm probably thinking they are going to win again, and Hamilton is going to have his eighth championship.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what happens because next year the rule changes come in. So hopefully that
Hmm.
mixes it up a bit. I still think Mercedes will be the leaders, but
Hmm.
hopefully people can
Hmm.
catch up a little bit with the rule changes. But whether that's the case or not, we'll have to
Hmm.
see.
Hmm.
So
Do you think FIA will downsize the engine next year when the new regulations kick in? Like they might go for from V6 to V4. Do you think that might happen, or will they stay to V6s?
mm, they'll probably see how it goes this year
Hmm.
and then make a decision. Currently, they'll probably just keep it the same. Because actually, they might. I know that Red Bull,
Hmm.
Honda are leaving the sport.
Yeah, they are.
Uh, their engine supplier, but they've made a deal with Honda to use their engines and develop them themselves
Hmm.
because there's been an engine freeze put in place. So I think they will be keeping the same engines until 2024. So it'll
Hmm.
be then when they'll decide when to change it. So it's enabled Red Bull to do their engines in house. So whether that works or not, we'll see. But
Hmm.
I think that decision will be it's been pushed further back to allow probably because of COVID as well to allow the teams to sort of save some money and stuff without having to change too much. Basically, yeah.
I want that V10 era of F1 back. Like I really loved that era of F1. That
Mm,
V10 music sounding engines.
yeah,
I have watched
yeah,
a few videos of them. Like I just keep repeating on watching those
yeah.
races, man. That
Yeah,
music, that sound, like Fernando Alonso just chasing and just giving the
yeah,
car his best.
yeah.
And we
No,
might we might get those car back if the engineers probably like just make a well hybridized engine version of the V10.
yeah, yeah. That's part of the because it's quite a difficult thing when you're doing a racing thing, a racing sport,
Hmm.
but also trying to be green.
Hmm.
Like in terms of green energy, is very difficult because obviously, number one, you're racing cars, you're driving uh, am I back?
Yeah.
Am I back?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah. And number two, you're flying planes to
Hmm.
all the locations,
Hmm.
so it's very difficult to promote green stuff. So like you say, making the engines hybrid will go part way to doing that. There
Hmm.
are obviously other factors that they're going to try and start to um, factor in. Well, trying to make it a bit more greener. You don't want to like change it to completely green because that'll make it in essence Formula E, and
Formula
it'll
E.
change. It'll just change the essence of Formula One. But you do want to make it at least a bit more greener.
Hmm.
So yeah,
See,
it's,
hybrids are the way to go, but indeed, but engineers are clever people. We have
mm,
seen Lamborghini and Porsche doing clever stuff with their hybrid engines.
yeah,
If you remember the Porsche 918 Spider, it had a 4-liter V8 engine with a hybrid
right,
with an electric motors, and
right.
it returned more, and it had lower emissions than a Toyota Prius with a
Well, there you
4-liter
go.
V8 engine.
Yeah.
So there's a hope for us petrol heads
Yeah.
that we might get
Yeah.
to see those big engines and still not be able to hurt the environment and still not hurt the environment. We
Yeah.
can do that.
It shows it's possible. It
Yeah.
shows the technology is there. So,
The
like you
technology
say,
is
it's
there.
promising. Yeah, it's promising.
The engineers
Um,
just have to implement it. That's all
yeah.
they gotta do.
I mean, apparently, on Porsche, apparently they're thinking of entering F1
F1, yeah. I saw
in
that.
the future. So that'll be interesting if they do.
Of course.
Another uh, great car company joining, like obviously Aston Martin this year, um, and then Porsche as well. And you've already got all the others. It'll be exciting if they do. So
Porsche is
hopefully,
already dominating Le Mans from years. They have been the king
yeah,
of Le Mans. And I think that they might be tired that, oh man, I'm just tired of winning all these competitions again year after year. Give me something
yeah,
challenging. Let's get into
yeah, yeah.
F1. Might be
See if
thinking.
they can compete with Mercedes.
Yeah. They may be
Yeah,
thinking of, okay, let's just compete with Mercedes. They claim that they are the best of the F1. So let's compete with them. And they might win. You never know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, with the right sort of funding and right team, you never know.
Hmm. And
But
Lamborghini also came with the Sian. So the Sian has a 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12. Now that's a very huge engine. That's
mm,
a very huge
yeah,
engine, and they have hybridized it with a supercapacitor, and it has very low emissions. So again, it goes on to prove that you can have big engines and still not ruin the environment. So
yeah,
yeah, there is a hope for us petrol heads
yeah.
to see those engines roaring all around,
Oh
and we
yeah,
might not have to go completely electric.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't mind
Mm.
electric cars, but you don't want to change the essence of the sport.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
See, as I love electric cars as a daily. Like if I had to go to my office Monday to Friday, an
mm,
electric car just suits the needs. Like I don't want at that time to hear the loud exhaust, the rumbling of the
yeah,
engine. I just want to get to the damn office. So let's get an electric car and do the job.
yeah,
But on a weekend when I just want to have some fun, I want to hit the track, set some laps, and just do that.
yeah,
I want my engine roaring. I want to shift. I want to upshift. I want to upshift. I want to downshift.
yeah,
I want to hear that engine roar. I want to feel the vibrations. And that's
yeah,
something that electric cars can't give me. So for
yeah,
a weekend,
definitely.
I would rather have a V8 Mustang with me. And yeah, and for weekdays, when I just want to go to the office, I might have a Tesla Model 3 in my garage.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
it's
that's
like you were
how it is.
saying earlier. A car that does its job is a good car.
Yeah.
So, like an electric car, it does what its job. It's a good
Mm,
car. It doesn't matter that it's electric. So yeah,
mm,
absolutely.
yeah. But I think that hybrid are the perfect way to go. Like neither
Oh
do we have to kill the engines completely, and neither do we have to like completely shift to electric.
yeah,
That
yeah,
would be the
absolutely.
best possible path. And neither will the petrol heads be sad that, oh my god, the engines are dying. And neither
Yeah,
will the environmentalists be just like thinking about, oh my god, the environment is going
yeah,
to get ruined.
yeah. It's a good compromise. Good compromise.
Now, out of all the liveries that we have recently seen, you have seen the liveries of the 2021 cars, right? All the liveries of Ferrari, McLaren, Alpha,
Sorry,
Alpha. Yeah, so I was talking about the
sorry.
liveries,
Well,
liveries. Yeah. Have you seen them? Which
okay.
one's your favorite?
Yeah, yeah. Um, I quite like the Aston Martins.
Green, elegant.
Aston Martins,
It's really
British
elegant.
racing, yeah, British racing green, iconic. It's nice. The I mean the other ones like Mercedes, obviously black, nice. Red Bull's very standard for Red Bull.
Hmm.
Ferraris is a bit interesting.
Hmm.
Like
That green part, they are being
yeah,
criticized
not sure.
upon that green part. People are like
Yeah,
re-rendering them and like turning it into white, and they're like, no, this is a good car. This
yeah,
one might like this one looks good. So
yeah. I'm not sure about the green, but yeah. No, I think the one that stands out. I mean, McLaren's obviously orange like it has been for a few years. I'd
hmm.
love for McLaren to go back to red and white. I would love that, but I don't know if they're going to do that anytime soon. Um, well, the AlphaTauri, they're standard. But I think the one that stands out is the Aston Martin one. I think that's it's a nice one.
Yeah, man, it looks so elegant. Like they have hit a perfect combination, which I would say perfect elegance. It's beautiful, it's elegant,
Mm.
and it's aggressive. You
Yeah,
can see all the three components present in there.
yeah,
You can't say
definitely.
that the car is too aggressive. It doesn't look beautiful. It looks all the three. Aston Martin has literally nailed it, and the safety
Yeah,
cars as well.
yeah. The safety cars went nice.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
along with I think if Aston Martin can do well, it'll be nice.
mm.
But yeah, the car looks very nice. I have to say.
Yeah, the Aston Martin advantages with those big grills and those custom lights and liveries, they look good,
Yeah,
man. They look really good.
yeah,
And they
definitely.
sound so good that some of my friends were like, dude, these Aston Martin safety cars sound better than the actual F1 cars.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
happening here?
yeah. Like
We want that era back when F1 cars used to sound like gods coming in from the heaven.
yeah, yeah. Uh, long time ago now.
A
But
really long time ago. Now, the next question is, yeah, so have you seen the McLaren 765 LT?
no, I
Yeah,
don't-
it's a supercar. Basically, it's the best supercar that has been launched by McLaren, and
right,
yeah, it's a tracked down version of the 720s, which is one of their best cars to date, and it does
right.
a quarter mile in about lower than 9 seconds as standard, and it's fully
Like,
IC. It's not even electric.
uh, like again, it's just bonkers. Like, yeah,
Lower than
uh,
9 seconds without any tune.
yeah,
I have seen
ridiculous.
Supras with like 2,500 horsepower that find it difficult to do that.
Mm, yeah, it's
And here's a car that comes stock from the factory and does 8.9 seconds on the drag times.
yeah. Uh, like the fact that they're able to keep on pushing it and developing it to
Hmm.
make these cars this quick is,
Hmm.
ridiculous. It's a testament to the company, I guess, but it's still bonkers.
Hmm. And what do you think about Carlos joining in Ferrari? What do you think? Is it going to be start of a new era because of these driver swaps between two teams, Aston and
Yeah,
Ferrari,
yeah. It'll be. I
McLaren
mean,
as well?
yeah, people were questioning him because obviously Ferrari weren't great last year,
Hmm.
but they can't be that bad again. And also, when the new rule changes come in, I'm sure Ferrari will be competitive again.
Hmm.
Um, it'll be interesting as well because I think he's been brought in to be the number two behind Leclerc, and I
Hmm.
don't know if Sainz will be happy being that for a while. Um, but I mean, hopefully it is the start of a new era, and it does look promising. But like I said, I'm not sure he's going to be happy being the number two for long, and there might be a few um,
He will try his best though to get to number one.
confrontations, maybe a few arguments, but we'll have to see.
Hmm. But he will try his best
Yeah,
though to
definitely,
get to the number one
definitely.
position. Like
Um,
I will be the face of Ferrari now. I want to be the face of Ferrari. So Carlos will do just everything.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that
yeah,
and that brotherhood he had with Lando is now can be seen with Leclerc.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping Ricciardo
Hmm.
will do well with McLaren.
Hmm.
I think that was a good move for him with them having Mercedes engines. So I'm hoping he can be competitive because he is a good driver. So
Hmm.
hopefully the car's competitive, so he can compete and be competitive. But um, and then also obviously Alonso has gone to Alpine,
Hmm.
which is Renault basically, and I don't know. I don't know if they might not be competitive straight away, but it might take a couple of seasons for them to catch up. But with Alonso in the car, I mean,
Hmm.
he's a fantastic driver, so he'll be able to, even if they're not that competitive, he'll be able to get the most out of whatever the car is, um, and sort of push it to its limit, whatever that limit is as well.
Hmm.
But it's nice to have Alonso back in the sport. Um, like it always when he left 2 years ago, it always felt like oh he'll be back at some point.
Hmm.
You know, you always thought that. So
It's in
yeah,
his blood. F1 is in his blood.
yeah,
Racing.
definitely,
Yeah.
yeah,
And he has been racing from a long, long time, man.
mm,
Fernando.
yeah,
He has raced with legends like Michael Schumacher.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
You forget
he has
like
got like the experience and he has raced along with the legends.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you forget his longevity. Like he won with Renault back in
Hmm.
2006, 2007, I think.
Hmm.
He's been around for a long time, but
Hmm.
it shows how good of a driver he is that he's been able to last that as long as he has
Hmm.
with all the rule changes and stuff.
Hmm.
He's been able to adapt, obviously, and adapts well.
Yeah. Adapts to survive, basically.
Yeah, yeah,
Adaptability is the key to surviving. And he
yeah,
does that very well.
yeah, yeah.
Because just a few days ago, I was watching a video on a page on Insta, old school F1, and I saw that
Right.
Fernando Alonso was taking over Michael Schumacher, and I was like,
Yeah.
Fernando is still racing, and
Yeah.
there are already old school F1 videos of him. Just think
Oh
about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some say that he should have probably won more titles than just two, because
Mm,
if he had been given a little bit more of a competitive car at Ferrari,
mm,
he probably would have won it one of the times Vettel won it, because there was that year that 1 year that it was really close. I think it might be 2012,
mm,
and Vettel was obviously at Red Bull, who had the best car, and Alonso was at Ferrari, who didn't have a great car, but he
mm,
pushed Vettel very close because he's a really good driver. So if he had a slightly better car, he might have been able to pit Vettel that season. But yeah, there's no denying that he's not a good driver. He's a fantastic driver, really.
mm. Now, do you think that Ferrari is better with their car this year? Do they have a chance of winning?
I think I like to think that they'll be more competitive. I don't think they'll win, but I
Mm,
like to think they'll be more competitive. Um, they've definitely. I mean, from what the sounds of it, the changes they made sound good, but whether that actually works or not, we'll have to wait and see for the first race of this season, because you can't really tell anything from preseason testing because they're all working on different sort of setups and different. The cars are
mm,
all like different fuels and fuel loads and stuff like that, and
yeah.
you know different tires and all that sort of stuff. So you can't really tell off preseason testing. So
Mm,
we'll have to see first race of the season,
mm.
hopefully.
Because with all the memes going around regarding Ferrari's F1 car, like comparing it to a tractor, and I was like, dude, they will improve. Don't downgrade Ferrari
Yeah,
too much. Like, it's not
yeah,
that they have entered F1 for the first time. They are a winning
yeah,
company.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a winning brand.
Like the
It's
uh, oh,
yeah. You're back.
I'm back. Uh, yeah, they've been in it from the start of F1, and last year they've done over 1,000 races. Like
Hmm.
they will be competitive again, but
Hmm.
it's the same with everything. Everything is goes up and down.
Hmm.
So you know you just got to give them time to work on the car and stuff.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it is funny, like the memes and stuff, but
Hmm.
you just got to give it a bit of time, I think.
Yeah, they have been one of the most dominating teams in the F1 ever. So like we can't just don't care about them like that. Like they are
Yeah,
just a rookie company or something like that. They
yeah,
have been
yeah,
one of the most dominant teams ever.
yeah, absolutely.
And I recently read a quote when Lewis Hamilton was speaking at the Ferrari that admit it or not, everyone is a Ferrari fan.
Yeah, yeah,
Now, Do you somewhere feel that Ferrari had ruined Sebastian Vettel's career? Because a lot of enthusiasts and professionals say that if Sebastian was with Mercedes, he would have been much better off in the later years, of course, when he stopped winning.
Um, I mean, it's very easy to say that
Hmm.
because Mercedes have dominated.
Hmm.
So it's quite easy to say, oh well, if he was in that car, he would dominate it because he would,
Hmm.
because it's the best car. But um, I mean, in the other sense, it would have been better for him as well because obviously works best in a calmer or a calm environment, and
Hmm.
Ferrari, it's an Italian company. Italians are not calm; they're fiery people, so it's not going to be a calm environment for him.
If
So
you have
he's not
seen
going to be
Ford
able
versus
to.
Ferrari, you know Italians are
Yeah,
not the calmest peoples around.
yeah. It's like it's that in a nutshell. If he's not going to be able to do his best
Hmm.
racing when it's not a calm environment.
Yeah.
Like, um, like you said at the start, he's a Ferrari fan, so that's why he went. And
Hmm.
obviously, Michael Schumacher was his idol, who
Hmm.
raced for Ferrari. But obviously, in hindsight, he'd probably think, oh, wasn't the best decision because he's not going to have he's not going to feel, I don't know, comfortable or settled because it's the people behind him and not they're not of like the same mind. Like the fiery, he's German, so he's like a
Hmm.
bit more level-headed, a bit more calm, a bit more, a
He's
bit
more
more,
gentleman type.
yeah, a bit more. He thinks a bit more thinking. They're just like fiery and on instinct, and do things on impulse. Like,
Hmm.
he's a bit more tactical, a bit more tactful.
Hmm.
So
But
yeah,
I
it wasn't quite.
want his reign of championship to be back because when F1 happened in India in 2013, I remembered Sebastian winning all the races, and he
Yeah,
did burnouts in his cars and then got out, bored in front of the car, kissed the nose, and just and just lifted the trophy up.
yeah,
That was one hell of a sight to see. Like there were millions of fans in India, like just watching Sebastian winning that race. So India proved to be quite lucky for him.
yeah.
And it was that moment, like when I was a kid, I used to be like 7 or 8 years old, and like there were pictures of him in the newspaper all around, and I used to cut out his pictures and just used to paste it in my scratch book that, okay man, this is my idol, Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah.
Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has that driver that's driver that got me into, or that didn't get you into F1, but like he's the one that sort of inspired my love for the sport.
Hmm.
Um, so I'd probably say for me, uh, I'd probably say that the driver was probably Jenson Button, even though he only won one.
Hmm.
Um, it was like that. I think 2009 season where it was Braun Mercedes before Mercedes bought it out and it became Mercedes, and it was
Hmm.
just like that livery on that car and the way he drives is so graceful and he's just calm. Yeah, just dead like chilled out,
Hmm.
chill. Like just
Hmm.
that he was like the one that I thought, yeah, he's good. Yeah,
Even James Hunt just even James Hunt just won one world championship, and there are like F1 friends of mine that are like, dude, James Hunt is my ideal. Like he has the same charismatic personality as me. So, like there are folks, and it
yeah,
doesn't depend on the number of the winning championship. It
yeah,
depends
yeah,
ultimately on the driver. Doesn't matter if he has
yeah,
won one or
absolutely.
eight. It's ultimately the
Yeah,
drivers.
yeah, absolutely.
Excited for the race, man, this year. I'm really looking
Oh
forward
yeah,
to it.
yeah. It's promising. It could be a very exciting season if it, like say, hopefully if it's competitive, which hopefully it is. It could be
Hmm.
very exciting.
Hmm.
Whether it is or not, we'll have to see again, but I hope it is. But you would think that with the developments, the improvements in the cars, that it would be a bit more competitive, hopefully.
Hmm. Recently, I heard a news that the voice of F1, I forgot his name,
Mhm.
man. He passed away. What was his
Yes,
name? Do you remember his name?
I'll just I've literally just read a news article
Hmm.
about it.
Hmm.
I'll get it up. He was called.
because people
Murray
here are like
Walk,
just posting all around.
yeah,
Like,
Murray Walk,
yeah. So people are like posting all around him, like he was the one who got him into F1. He was the voice of the F1.
yeah, iconic, very iconic. Yeah, he died aged 97. Sorry, so
Oof.
he had a good innings, but yeah, a very iconic
Just three
commentator.
years short of hitting that century.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I think it's with any sport, not just like most sports. Like
Mm,
any sport, certain commentators, you hear that commentator, you're like that's the voice
mm,
of that sport.
mm,
Like
mm, mm,
if you have certain commentators, if they got a certain quality, like
mm,
if they're a good commentator, basically, they become the voice of that sport, and
mm,
they like and if they have a certain way of speaking, like yeah, and he was
mm,
one of them.
mm.
Uh,
It becomes a unique voice, and you instantly recognize that voice the moment it hits your ears. You're
Yeah,
like, okay,
absolutely.
F1 is going on. If this guy is
Yeah,
speaking, F1 is
absolutely.
going on.
Yeah,
Like if you watch UFC, you are all you're always like, okay, Bruce Buffer will be in the ring. He will be just
yeah,
making the announcements and all. Joe Rogan will
yeah,
be on the commentator seats. So like
yeah,
just yeah, you have these few folks in your mind that okay, these folks are going to be there, and
yeah,
these folks become the voice of that sport. And when they pass away, it lets down many fans all around
yeah,
the world.
yeah.
So Ben, that will be all for this time.
Oh,
Did you
good,
like it?
good. No
How was
problem.
it?
Yeah, it was good. It
That's
was
good.
good. Yeah,
Yeah. Any
yeah.
message for the audience? Any parting words that you would like to
Um,
say?
uh, just uh, if you want to like see some F1 content,
Mhm.
follow or subscribe to the Blue podcast.
Yeah. I will put the
Uh,
link in the description below. No
yeah,
worries.
yeah,
To your
and
Insta handle and all.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, man. It was glad having you on the podcast. I really
Yeah, yeah,
enjoyed it a lot. I'm like fully fired up. Now I'm probably going to watch 10 or 15 videos of F1. Then I'm going
yeah.
to get some dinner and then I might be able to sleep.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah. Promises to be a good F1 season.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
see what happens. So
yeah.
everyone, bye.